harmony of the original London cast recording of Sister Act with the perfect message. And it is the perfect message, guys. Spread the love around. Go out and spread some love today. Why not? And the company are on a UK tour, so make sure you track them down. I'm Samantha Barks, and I shall be back next week at 1 o'clock, and I hope you join me. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to my studio manager, Ian Dealey, and my fabulous producer, Julie Newman. Johnny Walker is up next with Sounds of the 70s after the news.
This is Radio 2 on BBC Sounds.
And on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at 3 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. Rishi Sunak is under pressure to hold an investigation into whether his Home Secretary Suella Braverman broke the ministerial code after being caught speeding. Ms Braverman asked civil servants for help in arranging a private speed awareness course rather than attend a group session while she was Attorney General. They refused and she eventually paid the fine and accepted points on her driving licence. The former chairman of the Committee on Standards in Public Life, Sir Alistair Graham, says an investigation is justified.
This really isn't acceptable. The ministerial code stresses, of course, that ministers have to protect the integrity of public life, and asking civil servants to try and arrange privileged treatment that the rest of us can't possibly access seems to me not doing that.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says victory over Russia would mean lasting peace across the world. He also flatly denied that Moscow's forces are in control of the eastern city of Bakhmut, despite saying earlier that Ukrainians only held it in their hearts. He was speaking on the final day of the G7 summit in Hiroshima. From there, Shaima Khalil reports.
President Zelensky said that seeing pictures of a destroyed Hiroshima in the city's museum reminded him of the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, and that his hope was for cities in his country to rebuild the way Hiroshima did. Mr. Zelensky said he was grateful for the F-16 fighter planes he'd been promised. In a separate news conference, Joe Biden was asked whether allowing European nations to give Ukraine F-16s would escalate the war. He said that Mr. Zelensky had given him a flat assurance that the jets would not be used to attack Russian territory. President Biden added that Ukraine's ability to defend itself was crucial in ending the conflict.
The government's ruled out more help with people's energy bills when the price cap falls later this week. The new limit on what suppliers can charge per unit is expected to leave the typical annual bill at around £2,000. That's twice as much as when the cap was announced in 2019. An Australian climber has died while scaling Mount Everest, the 10th fatality on the world's highest mountain this year. Jason Kennison became unresponsive as he came down from the summit. Rescuers were prevented from climbing further down to get oxygen for him because of high winds. Football, and Chelsea's women are within touching distance of another WSL title after beating Arsenal 2-0. Only Manchester United can catch them now. The BBC's Robin Cowan was commentating.
Job done for Chelsea. Over to you, Manchester United. They're on the brink, Chelsea, of another title. They've beaten Arsenal by 2-0.
And in tennis, Andy Murray has pulled out of this year's French Open, saying he wants to focus on the grass court season and the build-up to Wimbledon. BBC News, it's 3:03. Now with the travel news, here's Orna.
Nikki, thank you very much. First of 5 with the A92. It's been blocked on the southbound side after an accident which involved a number of vehicles, and so really slow at the moment there. The A720 Edinburgh City Bypass westbound at the A7 at the Sheriff Hall roundabout. It's looking slow, and that's because of an accident which has been cleared. And Glasgow queues are still there on the M8, so travelling towards Townhead at Junction 15, quite slow there. That's where the Woodside Viaduct works are. And then, of course, you've got the closure over the weekend in Cheshire of the M56. Both directions closed from 12 to 11, Runcorn to Preston Brook. The problem really is the surrounding routes and the diversion. So it's the A558, the Daresbury Expressway, very slow on that southbound side, and the Western Point Expressway as well. One of the biggest problems at the moment in Manchester in the city centre is just the road closures which are still in after the Great Manchester Run. So just bear in mind, a lot of them will be in until 6 o'clock. And that includes part of the A56 travelling through Trafford. Staffordshire queues on the M6 still there, 11 at Cannock down to the M5 at Junction 8. It's just slow. And then some slow traffic in Oxford as well, with the A34, part of it closed southbound at the Pear Tree interchange. That's the weekend work which continues. It's better now on the M25, travelling clockwise over the QE2 bridge. There was an accident, but it's been cleared. Anti-clockwise queues are still there. They're from 2 at the Darrenth interchange to junction 1A at Swanscombe. One of the lanes is still closed. And in Surrey, the M3, junction 13 Chandler's Ford, still queuing after an accident. I'll be back with you next one in an hour.
What we're gonna do right here is go back. Way back. Back in time. These days are I've been free. Stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Hey, make some man take things over. Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
Now,
BBC Radio 2.
Sounds of the 70s with Johnny Walker.
BBC